G'day guys, Seeney here and welcome to another episode on the Australian Wealth channel. And in this episode, we're going to be having a look at the breakdown of my stock portfolio. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Really helps to get these videos out to more people. So without further ado, we're going to be having a look at my stock portfolio so we can see the change over time. And this really highlights how important it is to be holding assets. So you might find something really valuable for you in this video so you can see that your money is actually working for you and you're not working for the money. You know, there's a real difference there. And holding assets is just so important to that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having a look at my stock portfolio for the last year. We're looking at it on a yearly basis. So as I'm sure that you are well aware, even if you've been investing in ETFs like market tracking funds that track the top 500 companies in America or the top 200 in Australia, even if you've been just investing in them, it's been a very strong year for the stock market. A lot of that, I believe, comes down to inflation rather than gains in the real term, but you know, it's probably a little bit of both, but it's been an absolutely fantastic year for stocks and for property. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And this year for myself has been no different. In the last 12 months, I use ShareSite so I can calculate it for the last year. We've seen a capital gain of about 37.75%. So that is a really great return. You know, it's probably not a normal return from what you would expect historically from the market, but hey, if the gains are there, we're going to take them. So my stock portfolio is made up of only a few stocks. I think it's really important to put more money into stocks that you truly believe in rather than just going broad-based. Now, that's my own personal opinion. It's not financial advice. It's probably not the right thing for you unless you heavily research stocks. But I put my money in stocks that I personally believe are going to do really well over the coming years. You know, I like to invest for the long term. Some people like to day trade or swing trade. You know, if it works for them, that's fantastic. But most of my skill set is in long-term evaluation. So I like to look at companies on a long-term basis. I run my own business, so I have a bit of insight into looking at long-term trends and seeing how things are going. So I'm going to break down each one of my companies that I'm invested in. So the first one in alphabetical order is Coinbase. So everyone's familiar with Coinbase, you know, the biggest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. Fantastic company. They're making so much money. It is insane. But I have a position in Coinbase that is now worth about $14,000. So I'm actually up on that position 19.43%. So we've seen a great gain there. You know, obviously when Coinbase IPO'd, it was very high and we saw a dip all the way down to about $220 a share. It was around that point where I was like, this is finally a good deal. You know, people were talking about it just going to the moon, but you know, I'm just really glad that I got to get in at an actual good price. So we've seen a little bit of a rise in Coinbase since then, and you know, I expect that to continue. Following this, the next stock that I own in the portfolio is CrowdStrike. Now, CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity company. You know, we know that the Biden administration is looking to invest a lot of money into this area, along with Google, Amazon, Apple, all of these big tech companies. You know, they're looking to invest heaps. So CrowdStrike is actually positioned really well. So I've seen a huge gain on this stock, and every single time I look at it and think, oh, should I sell this stock? I just think, well, how can I? You know, it's a massively growing business in a massively growing sector. You know, I just think, well, how can I possibly sell this? You know, it's going to keep going up. It's really that simple. It might not be in a straight line, but the growth of CrowdStrike as an organization is just phenomenal. So I own roughly $10,000 worth of CrowdStrike stock, and I've seen a gain of 75.03% so far, which is very, very good. Considering the amount of time that I've held it, I believe it's been roughly a year that I've been holding CrowdStrike. So fantastic company. I'll continue to hold that for the next little while. It is starting to get expensive, don't get me wrong, but you know, for a company like this, you're going to have to pay for growth, and CrowdStrike is just growing massively. So following on from CrowdStrike, we have the next stock, and that is Dropbox. So I really enjoy Dropbox, not only as a company, but also as a stock. I started picking up Dropbox when it was around $18 a share. We can now see that it is over $30 a share. So it's been a fantastic investment for myself. So I hold about $15,000 worth of Dropbox stock, and I've seen a gain on that stock of about 64 0.93%. So really happy with the results that we've got from Dropbox so far. It's the same thing as CrowdStrike. Every single time I think about selling, I just look at it, I look at the growth potential and what they're doing in terms of net income, and revenue is continuing to grow really fast. And I just think, well, where else is going to be better that I can put the money? You know, I'm better off just leaving in that. So that's what I'm doing. And of course, we need to talk about my biggest position in the US stock market. Now, this is a company I talk about a lot on this channel, and if you follow the channel, you would 100% know. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you're not familiar with this channel, then please make sure you do like and subscribe. But this company is the Tattooed Chef. Now, this position has grown quite dramatically in the last little while. You would have seen that they had their earnings recently, and on earnings, the stock tanked 20%, got all the way down to like $15, $16 a share. And during that dip, I was just loading in massively again, because for me, it's just such an undervalued company in comparison to some of its peers in that sector. So I continue to buy really heavy during that period in time. And of course, Tattooed Chef has now bounced back from $15, $16 a share up to 21, and hey, potentially 22 I've seen in the after hours. So who knows, this might continue to happen. Could be a potential target for a short squeeze. You know, the short float is about 37%, which if you didn't know, is insanely high. So I currently hold $93,000 of Tattooed Chef stock, and I've seen a percentage increase in this particular stock, of 16.27%. So a great gain so far. You know, I'm anticipating that this is going to continue. If it continues to drop, I'm going to load even more money in, up to about $100,000. So I believe that for the next few years, Tattooed Chef is going to be the one that's going to go really well. You know, it's a great growth company, and I think that growth is really going to continue. I'm anticipating a price target of around $100 to $125 a share based on my own research. You know, it does seem quite high. You know, that's looking at like a 5 to a 6x. But if the company continues on the path that they're on right now, and they hit their revenue goals and they hit their gross margin goals that they've actually outlined, then this is actually quite a realistic number. So of course, this is not financial advice. I don't know if it's going to go up to that. And of course, you need to make your own decisions, but that is just what I believe. And the final stock that I hold in alphabetical order is a stock on the Australian market to do with mining. It's not a sector that I'm heavily exposed to, because I have some knowledge of how it all works and how it contributes to the Australian economy. But of course, most of my knowledge is elsewhere. So I'm actually holding a speculative company called Lithium Power International, LPI, which is looking at setting up a lithium mine in Chile in the Atacama Desert. So year to date, this position is up 78%. You know, I only hold a small amount in that particular stock, you know, $5,388. And I'm not going to be buying any more of that, because this is, of course, just a speculative bet. This mine is not off the ground. It's not profitable. You know, they're still going to have to raise money, get offtake agreements, all these kind of things to make sure that this mine is making money. But the resource in Chile is just absolutely phenomenal. You know, there is so much lithium that can be pulled out of the ground there. And LPI, which is the ticker symbol for the company, not only has a mine that they're looking to set up there, but they're also looking at Western Australia. So there's some diversification there, which is fantastic. So it's definitely not something I'd recommend unless you're willing to take a bit of a punt. So of course, in anything speculative, you don't want to make that too much of your portfolio. You know, something you want stocks that are a little bit more sure. You know, stocks that have a market cap of at least $1 billion and over. So I'm taking a little bit more of a speculative bet also with Tattooed Chef. Definitely don't get me wrong, but because I'm only 30 years old, you know, I can afford to have a lot higher risk tolerance than someone that's in their 50s or their 60s. So that takes my total portfolio to $137,228. So this obviously fluctuates day to day, might go up, might go down. Every single time that Tattooed Chef goes up or down 1%, that's about $1,000 in my portfolio. So we get to see some big swings, which is pretty exciting either way, you know, whether it goes up or down. So I'd like to hear what you guys are invested in. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Really helps to get these videos out to more people. Drop me a comment. I want to know your stocks, guys. I want to hear them. But thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Seeney, and we'll see you later.